Oh yeah, we got the van running in the last video. Everything's working great. I can drive it around town. No, I can't. Do I need to load the parts cannon back up and fire away at this thing? Yeah, I do. So I got some parts from Bus Depot. We're gonna clean some stuff up, regulate some fuel pressure, see if it works. Join me. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Welcome back to the channel. Another Vanagon video, almost in back-to-back weeks. That's unheard of lately. But we got some parts from Bus Depot, and we're going to put them on and hopefully get the fuel system running better. We determined it's something fuel or ECU related that's making this run not so great. So in the last video, we found out that I had connected the O2 sensor wrong. So we flipped that, started running right again. I tried it the next day. It ran okay. And when I tried to move this van yesterday, I had to restart it like 7 times to get the van to move from like right in front of the garage to like down the driveway a bit. And then this morning, probably like 10 times to get it to pull forward and then back up into the garage. So something got messed up, something's going on. So regardless of all of that's happening, we ordered some parts, or I ordered some parts off of Bus Depot. First thing is a replacement fuel pressure regulator, because that thing looks really old, and I know there's like a rubber diaphragm in there, so I know that can get old and break down. So I got a new fuel pressure regulator, gonna put that on. I got some fuel hose from there, think about like 3 to 4 feet of it, maybe 3 to 4 feet of it. I'm gonna replace all of the lines that go from basically the firewall right here to each injector.
Well, that's just awesome. The microphone decided to die. And for the first half of this video, there is no audio. So I'm saying I got braided lines to replace the fuel lines inside the engine bay with. And then I got clamps that are made for fuel hoses, so it provides a constant pressure. I want to ensure there's no leaks, because fuel issues are the main cause for fire, and fire in a Vanagon. So I want to make sure there's no leaks anywhere. And yeah, look at that, it clamps down all the way. So clamps to replace that, and then also boots for the injectors. And then same thing, this is the injector that had a blowout on the last video, and this injector I'm going to put the hose back on and then use the clamp to clamp down the hose back to the injector. So I didn't want to order a new injector for something that works fine. And then we can't forget the air filter. I got a new air filter because it hasn't been replaced in probably 20 years, so new air filter. And then the main attraction, we have the alternator. In the last video, Fred said the alternator sounds like it's about to explode any second now. It sounds like there's a bunch of rocks bouncing around in there and smoothing out. So this was the main thing I needed to replace immediately, because it sounded really bad, and I did not want that to add to any issues. I'm not sure if that causes fuel issues, like if there's not enough voltage going to the entire system, that maybe it would cause issues, but there's no battery light, so we'll see. And this is the installing an air filter video. Not really, just kidding. Throw that right over my shoulder. Nope, bang, smash on the floor. On to opening the engine bay. And this is a fantastic idea. This was that diesel heater I installed earlier last year. I have it running on a really long hose all the way up to where the rear tailgate of the truck is, or rear hatch, and I have it pinched right there in that corner. So it's blasting nice warm heat right down on top of me. The entire garage is pretty cold, probably like 40 degrees, but not right where I'm at. It's nice and warm right where I'm at. That's definitely a pro tip right there for staying warm. Work. That would be the sound of the wrench working and taking out the tensioner bolt. That is what keeps the belt tension going. So cranch, and it's a very long bolt, so it takes forever, and then do it by hand the rest of the way. And then the next step, of course, is to remove the power. A smart person would take the battery off the negative terminal up in the under the passenger seat, but I'm not that smart person, so I'm going to take off that bolt and lightly zap myself, because I'm going to ground it out by accident, and then I'll put it away probably near the air box, because the air box, as you see on the right, is already removed. Oh, just listen to this alternator. Oh, it sounds horrible. Sounds horrible. We got to replace this thing. Let's get rid of this thing and put a new one in. This is a fuel pressure regulator. It regulates fuel pressure. It has a vacuum on one side and a return on the other side. And then the left and right side go to the left and right fuel bars, fuel rails, whatever you want to call them. That's what it does. That's what it is. And then here I'm just saying, since this is going to be an utter mess with the fuel going everywhere, I am going to measure out all the lines and for both the left and right side and get them already cut, get them measured out, get clamps on them ready to go so I can kind of do a quick swap and not make a total mess in the garage like I normally do. Spoiler alert, I make a total mess. There's gas everywhere. And then here we are violating fuel lines that haven't been touched in probably the life of the van. They were really fused to that plastic and had to be twisted and then pulled off without breaking the fuel rod or the fuel line, fuel rail, whatever it's called. Yeah, couldn't do that. This is where you use an impact gun to take off the tiny little clamp that's holding on the return fuel hose that goes back to the tank, because we don't got time to mess around with no wrenches here. So then there's two tiny bolts that hold a bracket that hold the existing fuel pressure regulator on. Very carefully break them loose and then take them out. They go right into the intake manifold, so if you snap the head off of those, you're going to have a bad day. So once those are out, then you can successfully remove the existing one, and then there is a nut on the end of the existing one that you got to undo, and then you can put that one on the new one, and then it will bolt right in place. Ooh, it's so shiny. It's going to regulate fuel pressure. That red hose is the vacuum hose. The hose coming out the top of it is the return line, and then there's left and right going to the fuel rails on either side. Brand new clamps holding it all in. There's not going to be any fuel leaks. No fuel leaks. I promise. No fuel leaks. And this is the moment the microphone finally stopped working and didn't register at all. So I hope this part was entertaining. I did my best to recreate and remember what I said for all these parts. So now we can resume actually working audio for the rest of this video. Enjoy.
That was a pain in the butt. But I'm really happy I did it. Look at this. This is one of the fuel lines. There's no flex. There's nothing. Literally, it's falling apart and cracking as it moves. So replace your fuel lines, all of them. So fuel pressure regulator, tight with the return, the two lines that go to each side of the engine. Then I have the fuel inlet with the bleeder. I think that's a bleeder or something on there. That's on there, tight. Going to the rail on either side of the engine, tight. That's done. Now, I need to take the fun time of putting the other injectors I have. On the last video, we put on the old injectors. I think 2 of them. Maybe just 1 of them. Hard to tell at this point. But I need to put the new injectors back on, and I got these new rubber grommets. This is what the injector sits in when it's on the mount. Maybe less vibrations. I don't know. It was falling apart in multiple little pieces, so while I was placing an order, I just went ahead and got those. So I'm gonna do that too. And also rebuilding this injector, like I said before. I'm just basically gonna slide this hose as much as I can back onto this barb fitting. Actually, I'm going to cut a new hose because this hose is already, I don't know if you can see it, probably can't see it. See right here, the hose is all cracking. So I got plenty of new hose. I'll just measure and cut a new one. So I got one of the injectors on, and now I'm working on the other new injector. Just getting the hose clamp on, and then I'll lock that down. Of course, this is why I replaced the old rubber. Look at this thing. It's kind of like if you have anything over, say, 15 years old, 15 to 20 years old, you really got to consider just replacing anything rubber. It's just not worth it. So you'll see here that I put a new hose on there with 2 new hose clamps, using the old one right there. So now we can put this bracket on and then slide on these new, I call them rubber retaining gaskets. Dang, they got a lot of flex to them compared to the ones that came off of there. Wow. All right, I took a little lunch break. Gave me some time to chill. I was getting a little frustrated at these stupid injectors. I mean, these injectors. Take a look at what we did, or what I did. As you can see down there, there's 2 injectors, new boots on them. I re-crimped, or I re-tightened the hose, replaced the hose, replaced both the inlet and outlet hoses, and then I used some zip ties to clean up the wiring. And then you see this red wire right here. This one had popped off. Maybe this was why it wasn't running too great earlier this morning. It looks like it goes down to somewhere pre-cat, somewhere down there. So I don't know what the purpose of that is. I don't know what the purpose of that particular hose or particular wire is, but that's all cleaned up now. Nothing's touching anything hot. And we're at the point where I can put the new alternator on. Oof. And it's been just long enough where I don't remember how any of it worked. So I might have to refer to the video. But as you can hear, listen to this. Oh, that's how it's supposed to sound. Nice and smooth. So we're gonna put this on. Wow, everything's all nice and clean and perfect. Hey, it doesn't have that wire that I think is broken anyways. That's interesting. So let's drop this in. So the issue was like this fuel line, the inlet fuel line here, it kind of runs back underneath of the alternator. I didn't want it to get pinched. I wanted it in a nice place where it's still loose. Nothing's going to get at it. It's not going to rub against anything. So I feel it's in a good spot now. I got this bolt here on this bracket done, this bolt here on this bracket done. This is the bracket that holds the oil check dipstick on. It's held on by a nice wire clamp. So next is I need to find the bracket that I had for big bracket right here. Oh, I think I need to take this bolt off. Yeah, this is like a T-bolt. I think it goes under that and then right there. So I think it's only... I didn't even tighten that down. Why is it tight? There we go. Now's a good time to slip our belt back on. That don't look right at all. That's interesting. Look at this difference. So my original one, look how far out this comes and look how far out this comes. So it looks like I can't use this pulley because that puts it in line with the power steering pump belt, and that's definitely not long enough. So that's fun. I mean, it's perfect for if it goes on that one, but it looks like we're gonna have to take this off and just take this off and swap it with this one. I read something on the site where it said you need to use your own pulley. So I took this one apart already. Basically, I need to move over all of these pieces and remove this. I did it the very scientific way of jamming a flathead in there. And taking the screw off. So the order that the new one comes off is nut, washer, the spacer, that comes completely off. Now we're basically at the same level here. I got a washer. There's also my reverse order of operations. Washer, washer, first part of the belt, second part of the belt, that and that. And I will replace, oh, that's a lock washer. I would rather use the lock washer. I'll put the new belt on, or the new bolt on there. Same thing, total scientific way of jamming something in there and blasting it down. That is nice and in line with the back belt. So technically I can roll that back. There was a washer on here. I dropped it. It's down there in the depths right now. It's not coming back. I hope it has a nice life down there. And now, for reals this time, I can put this belt back on. So we got it bolted down. I still need to put like a pry bar on here and get it super tight. We'll get to that. This looks like a power line for the, looks like it's a power line for the AC because it connects to the AC over here. So this might not even be needed, but you know. It was on there before, can go back on there again. And then this is the main battery coming in, which looks pretty nasty. Great, the threads got all screwed up on the, you know what'll fix some threads? A nut. We'll just pull this out entirely for now. Pretty sure that's just the AC. The only questionable part is whatever the heck this plug is. Do the right thing and cut it off. Because I don't know. And then lastly, provide a good amount of torque on this. Okay, that's probably too much torque. Try it again, just not He-Man this time. Oh, right in the face. Oh. See, I'm rushing because I'm like close to being done. Now it's time for the best part, the air filter replacement. That's what y'all click this video for. Pop all that off. Oh yeah, look at that. It's not that terrible. Dun. Now we're gonna have no issues. We're gonna have no problems now. Brand new air filter. Not that there's any mice living in this thing. Wow, that's some great timing. Literally am cleaning up because guys, I am done. I am done. Let's start this thing up. It's either gonna pour fluid everywhere. The belts are either gonna go or it's not gonna do anything at all, or it'll be great. What's that ticking noise? Did you see what that ticking thing was? Hope that's not that washer I dropped.
I mean, you've got one of these spark plugs that aren't connected.
Oh, can you put that back? I might have bumped it.
The center one
Oh, the main one?
that has the base clamp on it or something?
Let me know in the comments. Do your spark plug wires at the cap, do they push and click, or do they just kind of sit there? I got these from Bus Depot. Supposedly for this, I mean, the rotor, all of it came as one set, but they don't click. They just kind of sit on top. So let me know in the comments.
I agree with Fred that does not feel right. I mean, like, to me,
They push and then they click in place.
that's what it's supposed to do. But it also feels to me like this isn't even like touching in the metal. It's suspicious. Said it's suspicious.
Yep. I guess it's worth. I can call Bus Depot tomorrow and ask them.
I mean, it clicks into here.
Into the box.
Yeah, and into under the box. I guess that's your what does it call it?
Not the ECU, but it's kind of like, I don't know what it is.
I want to call it like, it's not a resistor. It's not a capacitor.
Relay?
Yeah, the relay thing or whatever. I mean, there's no way that is a,
Road safe connection?
yeah. The first time this thing misfires, it's going to pop right off.
Whatever the pump is that's over here,
Oh yeah, it has issues.
that sounds bad.
Yeah.
But other than that, it sounds good. I mean, you're not clicking. I'm pretty sure the clicking was the distributor. Yeah.
I mean, it feels like it has a little more power, but something.
I mean, it sounds much better.
But right now, and it's idling, it sounds like it's slightly misfiring. Ba, 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 ba,
Yeah.
ba.
It's also very, very rich.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if I should take the battery off and back on again. I don't know if this is intelligent enough, because I did have the O2 sensor plugged into something really wrong for a while. Well, that's going to be a wrap for this video. Thank you for watching. It's running stronger. Driving back up and down the driveway on the road, it felt stronger. Even sitting here, working the gas up here, feels stronger. But when idling, it's still not there. Something is definitely causing it to not idle right. If you have any ideas, let me know in the comments below. And we'll see what we do next. See you next time. Peace.